John Lennon wrote and recorded the first bars of the track at his New York home in 1978. And it's the last time all four Beatles would feature on a song together. 85058 is the text number. Straight away on my social media, I got two very contrasting messages. Keith said, "Afternoon, Nihal. Regarding the Beatles' new song, very underwhelming and overhyped. Sorry, you can see why it was a demo only." Whereas Michael said, "OMG, Nihal, goosebumps. Hashtag the Beatles, simply breathtaking and poignant." So, what do you think? Skylar Moody is with us, 24-year-old super fan, content creator for Beatles Fest, and Jackie Spencer, the Beatles tour guide in Liverpool. Skylar, I'll start with you. Your immediate thoughts on Now and Then.
Oh my goodness. It's just breathtaking to know that we have this, that we're getting a new Beatles song in 2023, but now to hear it, it's become even more real. And hearing John's vocals in this way, just the technology that we have to be able to make his vocals sound so fresh, it's like he's with us today. And I feel like that's so special to like a fan for myself, any fans my age. I feel like, because John died before we were all born. So I think having this song with us today, it's like he's here with us, that he's just recorded this recently. And I think that just makes it all the more special. I am in awe.
Some of us are old enough to remember that, sadly, when he was taken from us. Jackie Spencer, will you be playing this to tourists coming to Liverpool and saying, listen to this, or will you be just relying on some of the older stuff?
Oh my goodness, I will be playing that, and it's pretty cruel for you to get us to talk straight after we've listened to it, to be honest with you.
Well, that's
really
but that's
emotional.
Right. That's okay. That's interesting. Why?
No, well, to me, I was old enough to remember the real John Lennon, and we know John Lennon's family are always around in Liverpool, and we feel as though he's part of our family, to be honest with you. And it was, to me, listening to it like that for the first time, it was like a conversation across timelines. It was like John was saying, "I'm here because of you," to the others, and then they're answering him. Honestly, it had more of an effect. The lyrics, the music was haunting, but the lyrics with the others harmonising, to me, it sounded like a conversation. And that's just completely off the cuff now, and I'm a bit emotional about it.
Oh, well, Angela is just driving through Delamere Forest in Cheshire. That's a lovely place to be driving through, Angela. Had to pull in. Tears were streaming down. Love, love, love it. Flipping brilliant, says Pete in Totnes. Stunning, says Gareth Cook in London. It had an inclusivity and peace that we need to hear. We need his peace now more than ever. Stuart from Accrington, hello Stuart, said simply wonderful, the Beatles. Beautiful, says Matthew in Cambridgeshire. Wow, hearing his voice again, I welled up. Billy in Durham said John Lennon has been brought back to us. So beautiful, so Beatles, love it. I've got 62-year-old goosebumps, says Carl in Northampton. Someone just simply puts, sounds like Oasis. Really doesn't. Reflective, poignant, but not groundbreaking. Nice to hear, but sorry to say it's an album, not a floor filler, says Tim in Lancashire. But I think the really interesting point that was made was about that kind of connection. I actually felt as well, Skylar, I felt quite emotional listening to it, and I am no way as invested into the Beatles as much as you are. And if it had that effect on me, my gosh, I can't imagine what it's going to feel like when you, Skylar, at some point get a chance to just listen to it on repeat, as I'm sure you'll do.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And even what's even more emotional about it is that the B-side for Now and Then is Love Me Do. So we're hearing the last Beatles song, and then immediately we get to hear their first single. So you're starting at the end, but then you're going right back to the beginning. And I think that hits even harder, and it's going to hit hard for any fan. I don't know how you could not get emotional with that.
Yes. Jackie, are you going to be listening to it on repeat, on repeat, on repeat?
I am, and then I'll be listening to it on my tours on repeat and repeat and repeat, because for me, my tours are all based in Liverpool, where it is the Love Me Do era. We lead up to Love Me Do when they all eventually left Liverpool, but now it has come full circle, so it's perfect for me to play on tours as well as in the house.
How do you feel about technology and the use of it to help with this track, Jackie?
Well, at first, I was totally against it because I thought they were going to use a fake voice. You know, there's lots of fake stuff out there with the Beatles singing Beach Boys songs, and it's not them. But in this case, it's not really AI. It's just a buzzword they're using, isn't it? It's this Mal technology, which is a lovely nod to Mal Evans. They've just basically stripped down John's voice and separated the piano from it. So it's not the AI that I think of when it's completely fake. This is John's real voice, George's real guitar. And I love that Paul's, I wish it was George, but Paul's done a slide guitar in tribute to George as well. And that was haunting.
Rachel in Chester. Hello, Rachel. I was in Chester a couple of weeks ago. What a lovely place that is. Phenomenal, beautiful, breathtaking. I cried. I wanted my dad to hear it as he would have loved it. He was a huge Beatles fan. John in Holmfirth. Hello, John. It was lovely, Nihal. I'm touched and emotional. It's hard to understand my response. Is it my yearning to have John back, or is it a beautiful, haunting experience? I suspect and hope it's the latter. Wouldn't it be interesting, John in Holmfirth, see what Mr. Lennon would have to say about the world that we currently live in. I'm not even the biggest Beatles fan, says Jane in Glasgow, but I felt surprisingly moved during that. The lyrics seemed to be about the band, almost predicting that this song would one day symbolically bring the four back together. I thought it was beautiful, very touching, very emotional. I did as well. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. 85058 is the text number. What kind of a conversation, Skylar, do you think this song will start amongst people such as yourself who are super fans, but also as well super fans from your generation?
Well, from what I've been seeing so far with fans my age, everyone is extremely emotional because we never thought that we would be getting new unheard Beatles music in 2023. So already it's touching at our hearts that way. But when you hear the lyrics and when you know that this was a song that John had written for Paul, you see the lyrics and you see John pouring his heart out, pouring out his love, saying it's all because of you. And I think knowing that the two of them, you know, loved each other that much, they have this amazing partnership, I think it just hits extra close to home, knowing that that was John's final message in a sense, because he had recorded that demo shortly before his death. So already, I think in multiple aspects, it touches us in that way. And I think having that knowledge and carrying it with us as we're listening to that song and knowing, you know, this is it, this is what we've been waiting so long for, I think it's incredibly emotional.
Could that emotion be clouding judgment, Skylar, do you think, in terms of its musical integrity?
I mean, potentially, but I feel like musically, it also sounds amazing with the technology that they were able to use to bring it back. And, you know, when it was first announced that it was going to have AI in it, I was a little bit nervous myself because I thought that meant they were going to create something entirely new. But knowing that it was only used just to enhance John's voice and bring that out, I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be great. You know, we're going to hear John's voice, you know, completely raw, better quality, and it's going to sound amazing. And it already does. So I think the combination of hearing how pristine it sounds and then having the emotional message behind it, I think together that makes the song absolutely fantastic.
Skylar Moody, content creator for Beatles Fest, Jackie Spencer, Beatles tour guide in Liverpool. Thank you both